The vote, Wisconsin's future, the race for governor. Tonight, the candidates debate, sponsored by today's TMJ4, WUWM, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and USA Today Network. From the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee campus, here are your moderators.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Charles Benson with today's TMJ4.
And I'm Shannon Sims with today's TMJ4, the governor's race, the candidates for the governor's debate.
I'm Mitch Teich from WUWM. The general election is November 6th. Let's welcome the candidates to the stage. We have the current incumbent governor and Republican, Scott Walker, and his challenger, State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Democrat Tony Evers.
Much like the U.S. Senate debate, we are streaming live on Twitter. You just follow the hashtag you see at the bottom of your screen, and we'll pick up at least one, perhaps two questions to ask during the debate.
Our rules are very simple tonight. Candidates will have 90 seconds for each question, 30 seconds for a follow-up response. And if you should run over time, you will hear this.
So let's get it going. Mr. Evers, you will go first, and we will expect you to try to talk for 90 seconds because we want to see the clock roll down. So please try your best to get to 90 seconds. Our first topic is pretty serious. We want to know more and more retailers are pushing Christmas into October. Do you oppose or support efforts to sell Christmas items in October?
You know, Mike, that's a great question. You know, Mike Jacobs and I go back a long way, folks. That's a great question. What we want really is to have Christmas start in January. And if we can get enough product out there, we won't have that mad rush for Black Friday. So I got a minute and 10 to go yet.
That's what we're talking about.
I'm going to keep on rattling here on something. Oh.
What was that?
Is that a hook on my neck?
What was that?
I don't feel it, though. So I'll keep talking. And yeah, actually the prices could come down if we would start selling earlier, and then all year would be a much lower price. And we could afford Christmas. You know, I'm thinking cars. People could buy cars for their loved ones. Maybe even, well, as long as you're 16 or older, I guess. And but my opponent, you know, he is so against it. And I'm telling you, it's one of those things where if you want a good car, buy from me. I've got a used car lot, in case you didn't know, that's located right outside of Madison. And if I don't win the candidacy, I'm gonna continue selling cars. And that's where this Christmas program comes into play. All year long, you'll be able to get Christmas gifts from my car lot. So if you're thinking about a car this year, come on by, we'll sell you a car. Now, school is something that I was supposed to be in charge of this year, and well, oh darn, I can't tell you.
Mr. Walker, over the last year, several new flavors of M&Ms have been introduced to the consumer public. Could you go over the various flavors of M&Ms and your feelings on each of them?
Sure. Thank you for the question. I just want to thank you for that question. And it was a great question. Might even be the best question that we've gotten. It was pretty good. Almost as good as some of the new flavors of M&Ms that we've been seeing in the market recently. There's more chocolate than there's ever been before. Wisconsin, under my government, has had the best chocolate we've had in years. But that's not all, not the only flavor. We got great Wisconsin flavors like grass-fed beef, great flavor of M&M. It's wonderful, it's tasty, and it goes down with a nice slice of cheese. What could be better than that? We got snow-flavored M&Ms. They taste kind of like water. They're wonderful. I enjoy them. I don't know if you and my opponent doesn't seem to enjoy them, but in the past we've had good times eating those flavors of M&Ms. I'd like to add that again, there's more chocolate in these M&Ms, but some people don't like more chocolate. Some people like less chocolate, and I guess life is bad for them, and we're trying to make life greater again in Wisconsin, greater than it was for the last 6 years, 8 years, 10 years without these new M&M flavors. I think it's just fantastic what they're doing at the M&M factories, and I'd like to see more growth over that. I don't think that you could make the M&M flavors grow as much as I could continue to make them grow in the next 10 years.
Thank you, gentlemen. This question is for both of you. If you could please describe which is better, ice cream or custard, and Mr. Evers, you will be able to start. What?
That's right, because it was a different question.
Doesn't matter who goes first.
No,
It's
it
your-
does. She's right.
You
I get to go first. Custard
Ice-
is awesome. I'm thinking, if you buy a new car from me, you got to go back to that same theme. You buy a new car from me, I'll have custard for you. You'll get a free ice cream cone. It'll be one of those little small ones, but free ice cream. Oh, no, not free ice cream, free custard. That was the question. Oh, thank you for that question. I still have a minute 10 to go with this silly topic. Yes.
Elaborate on a flavor.
A flavor. I'm boring. I like vanilla. But if you dip it in that chocolate, that is like really good too. It's kind of messy though when that chocolate starts to break, especially when you hit the brakes in your new car and it sends your ice cream cone flying and then it gets on the windshield. You know how that is. How do you talk for a minute and a half on something so silly? The flavor that I like is vanilla, but that custard is just phenomenal.
You have feelings about other custard flavors?
I'm sorry?
Do you have feelings about other custard flavored chocolate, for example?
But again, if they get to
don't,
a
right, we're just
thought
trying to
and
get
it's
to-
over
yeah,
and you didn't get 90
can just
seconds, that's
stop.
fine.
You don't
Yeah,
have to
you
wait
can
for
stop.
your day.
raisin?
You can stop.
The other flavors, yeah, I don't care for the other flavors. I got this ulcer growing from selling cars. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Evers. Scott Walker, Governor Walker,
They want us
Mr.
to
Walker.
do the Twitter question.
Okay.
I think it's you.
It's me.
Shannon.
Okay. Oh, Shannon.
Now we have a Twitter question that we'll go to. Let me read exactly what's here. So now our candidates will answer a Twitter question. As you know, we've been streaming the debate live using the hashtag that you see on your screen. Again, both of you will have 90 seconds to respond to the Twitter question. Will the Twitter question appear, or
we
will
have
we
one?
make one up?
Okay. So can you see the behind you? Okay. Just want to make sure you can see it.
So I'm going to make up a question.
Is the vote. Will you vote? I'm not sure I can make
So we
it
have
this
a
year to vote.
picture.
Wow.
We have a picture. Suzanne from Oconomowoc sends in this Twitter question for both of you. If tomorrow were not to come, what would you want to do today?
Mr. Walker is first, I think, right?
Yes.
Thank you for that question. That's an extremely loaded question. I feel like I
You
may
only
be...
have 16 hours left in the day.
Okay. Oh, dear. Well, let's take a look at this. I would want to sleep a little bit. I'm a little tired right now. I feel like we as Americans don't get enough sleep these days. But sleep is enjoyable. I would like to eat something good, which, can bring us back to some custard. I agree. Custard is a fairly well option. I don't know what you're doing in Wisconsin if you're opting for ice cream over custard. It's ridiculous. But I think I would probably get something sweet, something savory, something that reminds me of home. And then I would try to spend some time with very close friends. Maybe it's only a 3-hour drive back to my hometown, so I'd probably drive back there and be with my family for as much as I could, and maybe have a nice home-cooked meal at the end of the day. I think that would be wonderful. And I think it would really bring back memories of the wonderful Wisconsin we all know and love.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Your time is up. Mr. Evers,
That
if you
sounded
could.
different.
It did?
What was that?
What was that?
Oh, the preview screen. Sorry about that.
Oh.
If you had more to talk about your last dying day, you can go
It's
ahead.
all good.
That's all good. Mr. Evers, if you would like to tell us what you would like
That's
to do.
a great question, and my opponent clearly doesn't understand that we are going to die tomorrow. We're not going to spend our time in a car driving 3 hours. We're not going to be cooking a fancy meal. We're going to be running over to the used car lot that I run and buy a damn car. And you'll get a free ice cream cone, too, with custard. And then you can go for that ride. I don't care where you go, because you aren't going to have much time anyway. Do you like to gamble? Gamble with me. Bring your money to me. I'll spend it for you. And I have nothing more to add.
But well, we'll follow up that question,
you will.
Mr. Evers.
Of
yes,
course you
because
will.
the question was, what would you do? Not what would you want your customers to do, but what would you do if this was your last day?
And you have 30 seconds. Can we put 30 seconds on the clock?
30 seconds on the clock.
Is there 30 there?
No, yes.
All right.
Yes.
You now have 30 seconds.
30 seconds to tell you what I would do.
Right, not
they
what your
seeing it
opponent.
I would
Here?
sell as many cars as I possibly can. I enjoy that car lot, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned to you I have a car lot. And I would love
I
to
think
just
so.
spend my day
Where are they seeing the time? In front of us?
telling people what wonderful buys they're getting. And it still
I
has
think I'm
18
good.
more seconds, and this is ridiculous. But we're going
Yes.
to talk about this car lot.
Yes. We are good.
And I got to stop playing with these cords or it's going to be pulled and oh, darn.
Thank you, Mr. Evers.
Thank you.
You don't need us
Except for
to do
one
the
thing,
closing
Karen.
statement, correct?
Mitch was asking, you don't want to do closing statement. We're good on that, right? All right. And again, I heard a beep before I
It
heard.
was the monitor had turned off. She said something about the preview
Okay, I heard
monitor
it
turned
again.
off.
so-
Second time.
Second time. So I just don't want to be cutting anybody off.
Did it sound the exact same?
Yeah.
It's
tone?
well, it's close. It's like this. It's the
Kinda
same
muted?
key, but one of them sounds more electronic, and the other sounds
Ah.
like a bell.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, we're getting all technical now.
But I understood.
I'm just in radio.
I got it. I got it.
He recognizes those sounds.